Yo, what is up, y'all? So we're gonna do a little trade recap here. Ended up taking two losses on the day. Unfortunate. It is what it is, though. Uh, so gonna go over that. So first off, zooming out, as we saw, or at least I think it's in the exclusive video only, but uh, you can see here we have this 4 hour fair value gap right here, and then you also have just this big consolidation zone, right, where we've been consolidating for the past like months now at this point. And using the fib, we know, okay, this is the last kind of area of defense for the 4 hour for value gap, or the 4 hour for value gap is the last area of defense. And so knowing that, and also seeing that we have a 4 hour for value gap bouncing off of that first for value gap, it's more so like at least you could see there's a lot of buyers here, right? And so my thought process is, okay, we could still come down here to this level, but then we can definitely bounce, right? This was from yesterday's trade. And so zooming in, you can see it. I took two L's, right? And you can see where. So first off, looking at the hourly as well, you have this 0.618 level, right, of the fib. And then you have this right here. We come in and we bounce, right? Which is also met by another hourly for value gap right here during market open. So that's the reason why once I saw us kind of come back into this area, I decided to wait. Sorry, I decided to wait and play calls, right? So I ended up waiting. Once I saw this right here, especially on the 2 minute, you could see that we were inversing. So like this right here, I didn't play this. I could have played it for puts, but like I said, I was looking for calls. I guess a bias and right there would be, I had a bias, right? Uh, but if I would have played it, it would have made sense because honestly, I feel like it still wouldn't make sense to me, just because we are in this higher time frame, 4 hour fair value up to the upside, right? And we are like at an area where we could bounce. It's just the fact that the market was weak, right? So we ended up playing that off of that, right? And we tried. There was this 2 minute as well to the upside, but it got inverse immediately, whatever. But once I saw this 2 minute right here, which you can see here, we kind of wigged into that area I was telling you about earlier. And then once we got into this 2 minute to the downside and inverse that, I like to play calls, and I played it off that 2 minute inverse for value gap, or you could say this 2 minute for value gap right here. So I ended up coming down a bit, averaged in, and I was we're up like 20% here. And my targets though, if we use the 1 hour and we use the fib, my targets, I think it was using this. Yeah, using this, my targets were here at the 0.618 level of the fib. So basically from pre-market all the way down to this like low of day, the idea was to rebalance all the way up here. However, as you can see, we ended up just rebalancing to like this 0.5 and this support level. So if we zoom out, where's that support level? That support level is all the way back here. It's that first initial kind of like low of the range that was created back in December. So have you seen, as you've seen, we bounce, we come down, we bounce, come down, bounce, come down, bounce. So, it's been strong. Let's see if whether or not it turns into resistance. It looks like right here it turned into resistance a bit. So instead of bouncing, we ended up ripping through and then kind of rejecting off of that. So we saw that, right? And so we were up 20%, but my take profit was up here. I was in with somewhat light size, but still sucks to see that, ended up kind of coming down, and then I stopped out. I wish I stopped out here. Kind of looking back, I'm trying to decide whether or not I should have stopped out there, but I ended up stopping out here once I got a 3 minute close, below that for value gap. So basically confirmation that we're we're invalidating that for value gap rather than just like waking through it. You know what I mean? Like waking and then bouncing up. So the reason I didn't stop out on this 5 minute though, it's just because you see this wick, like I said, we wick and then we stay in it. So it shows there's still some relative strength in there. Sorry, these drawings are kind of confusing probably. Let's just delete that. And so we also had, like, you see, this is another reason why I did not stop out, because I saw that we were somewhat consolidating around this 618 level, 0.618, and then we waked up. I was at break even, but I didn't want to take, like, call it, because I wanted to see whether or not we were going to respect this 3 minute or not, and we ended up respecting it. So, honestly, that's probably where I should have cut it. Just seeing that, okay, once we just wick into it and then we close like this, that's when I should have stopped out rather than waiting all the way down here. But I mean, that's just kind of an area of improvement. So after that, obviously we got inversed on this 3 minute as well as this 5 minute. So my idea was take some puts, right? And I would have taken it here, but it was kind of extended. So I was waiting to see whether or not we would, create a fair value gap, which we did on the 3 minute and the 5 minute. I ended up taking the 3 minute one, entered right here with like a third of my position size. I ideally wanted to add more, or just add in general, starting like right here. So basically at this 0.382 level, but I did not. And I ended up adding down here. I was going to average in, decided not to, just because my loss was already somewhat big on the day. It was like 160. And then with this loss, I was looking to risk only like 20 or 30 bucks to like target these lows down here. But then out of nowhere, we got this volume right here. And you can see I ended up stopping out up here. But yeah, it just sucks. Overall, choppy kind of day in the market. Sucks though. I mean, I think the idea is to take profits sooner. Like up here when I was up 20%. When I was up like 20%, maybe just take that rather than trying to, like, yeah, it would have been just a 1-to-1 risk to reward, 1.3. But I mean, green is green, I guess, but I ended up not taking profits there, so that's a loss. Here I could have easily taken profits just at low of day. So something like this, basically once we enter, stop loss goes to the halfway, and take profit goes to like low of day, or even these lows right here. So that could have been something I could have improved on, but I mean, I guess partially yesterday I ended up seeing the way price made its move. We came into that fair value gap, right? Because look, if we back test, we came into that 0.382 level after inversing these fair value gaps over here, and we came into that one. We wicked up, and then we came right back down, and we ended up, right here you can see we got a good close, and we ended up going a bit lower. So we actually respected that 4 hour fair value gap so we ended up kind of going in a little bit deeper into that fair value gap, whereas here we didn't really tap into it, which is what I was looking for, at least a tap into it. So that would have been the trade, but yeah. I don't know what happened here. There's some sort of news. I think Trump ended up saying something about like bringing down oil prices and an act, invoking an act or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's the trade recap for today. Down like 220, I think. Let me see. I think it's 220. Full disclosure, right? Yeah, 227. 227. So we're down on the day, but numbers on the screen. So they're just numbers on the screen. But yeah, God bless. Take care. Let me know if you guys have any questions.